Today we're going to be driving around South Redondo Beach, California. I'm going to show you all the neighborhoods and what your options are, whether you are buying or renting. We'll also take a look on the map where some of these places are. I'm going to give you some links so you can look at some properties. So before we get started on that, Redondo Beach is a large city and it's divided up into North and South Redondo Beach. It's also one of the three beach cities in the Los Angeles South Bay region. The other two are Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach. And you'll find other videos from Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach on this channel, as well as videos about Redondo Beach and Redondo Beach real estate. One of the first things people notice when they come to Redondo Beach is you just have all kind of property types. You have attached townhomes, you have single family homes, you have detached townhomes, you have condos, you have apartment buildings, you have duplexes, whatever you could think of, you're going to find it here. And that means there's a lot of options for buyers and renters, which is one of the things that makes Redondo Beach so desirable. So we're heading west here towards the ocean. Just want you to see those different property types I'm talking about again. It's like kind of one of everything. And we're going to turn south here, headed back towards Riviera Village, which we're going to visit later. But before we do that, I'm going to kind of go to a real cool neighborhood where you can see a lot of single family houses. And where we're going is kind of up towards what you see down the center here. That's the Palos Verdes Peninsula. But there's one Redondo Beach neighborhood right at the base of that. And that neighborhood is called the Hollywood Riviera. Now, it has nothing to do with either Hollywood or the Riviera, but years ago when it was being developed, some marketing person, if they even called them that then, thought that was a really cool idea to call it the Hollywood Riviera. There's mostly single-family houses in the Hollywood Riviera, and there's everything from properties that were some of the original ones built here, and some of those have been expanded on or updated, to ones that have been extensively remodeled, and then there's even some new construction. Many of the homes in the Riviera have ocean views, some even a Queen's Necklace view, which means you see the coastline. It's one of the few places where you just can't build something and block your neighbor's view. Other parts of the beach cities and Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, yeah, you got a great view one day and then your neighbor builds something and you're kind of out of luck. The other thing about the Riviera is, even though it may seem as you drive around that you're kind of like in the middle of nowhere, a lot of these houses are within walking distance of the shops and restaurants in Riviera Village. And if not, it's just a quick drive to get there. And speaking of views, let's head back down near the Esplanade where all the condos are, and they have views. We're on Esplanade now, heading south, and this is one of the most unique stretches, not just in Redondo Beach or the South Bay, but probably all of coastal LA County. You have oceanfront condos, and there's a lot of them, and a lot of them have spectacular views, unobstructed. And they're still affordable, at least by LA standards. So again, you have everything here from one bedrooms, some studios, two bedrooms, and great place to live if you're looking for a condo with an ocean view. So along the west side of Esplanade in South Redondo, you have oceanfront mansions, you have condos, and you have some townhomes. And these properties, most of them have unobstructed, amazing ocean views, and still somewhat affordable, at least by Southern California standards. You don't find anything else like this almost anywhere else, certainly in the South Bay and most likely coastal LA County, where you have this kind of oceanfront at prices that, yeah, they're expensive, but all in all, kind of affordable. A great place to live. The further south you get here, the closer you get to Riviera Village, which is, of course, highly desirable. Okay, we're back here in the Riviera because first time around I forgot to show you any views, and there was a couple of really important things I wanted to tell you about the Riviera. A lot of these houses, or most of them, will have Redondo Beach addresses, but get this, they're really in the city of Torrance. Huh? What are you talking about, Ellis? Well, over 100 years ago, the Redondo Beach post office was a lot closer to this neighborhood than the Torrance post office, so they just gave them Redondo Beach addresses. Okay, makes sense to me, I guess. But there are Torrance services in most of the Riviera. The schools are Torrance schools, which are also great. So they are on par with the Redondo Beach schools. And basically there is no pricing differential between the ones that might have Redondo services and Torrance services. Riviera is a great place to live. It's close to Riviera Village, and you can often walk to the beach from many of these addresses. Wow, look at that ocean view from up here in the Riviera. Isn't this amazing? If you're lucky enough to get one of these homes where you could see the whole coastline and the Queen's Necklace view, wow. The neighborhood you'll hear a lot about in South Redondo Beach is the avenues, named Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C. That's kind of like pretty obvious, right? And the closer to the ocean you are in the avenues, of course, the more expensive. But you do find the usual different kind of property types, everything from these original beach cottages to newer construction to condos, some apartment buildings, and avenues are highly desirable. Sometimes you'll hear the terms upper or lower avenues, depending on which side of PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, you're on. So let's drive around the avenues a little bit. We're back on Catalina right now, and I'm gonna head up Avenue E. I like Avenue E because that's my initial. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Avenue C. But we're headed up Avenue C. I'll get Avenue E later. So we're on the avenues. That's a rare 2-on-a-lot townhome. And now we're on the east side of PCH, Pacific Coast Highway. Still a great, amazing neighborhood. You find pricing on the avenues historically has been, if you're west of PCH, it's one price point. If you're between PCH and Prospect, another. And then if you're east of Prospect, that's been a little bit less. But that's kind of changed recently, where I've seen some new construction, gorgeous homes east of Prospect, priced in the 4 millions. And I've even seen resales east of Prospect in the 3 millions. So while location is everything these days, so is condition. So as we head down towards Prospect, you still see this gorgeous houses on the avenues. And you see some, new construction going up right on Prospect. So east of Prospect, there's still desirable houses on the avenues, but in some parts of South Redondo, east of Prospect, you are in Torrance. The ones east of Prospect here are still real Redondo Beach, not like the Riviera where there's some with Redondo Beach address that are really Torrance. At the corner of Beryl and Prospect, there's a big medical complex, and there's a lot of really great doctors there. Some of my doctors are there. Hospitals are Torrance Medical, some are associated with Torrance Memorial. And this is called the Beach Cities Health District. And it's going to be redone. So if you're thinking of buying around here, you might be living with quite a bit of construction for a while, but you'll have good access to doctors, and there's some great hospitals in the South Bay as well. So this is Riviera Village, headed south on Catalina. You see all the restaurants, all the shops, and what you don't see are a lot of national brands. This is kind of like really local vibe, coastal LA County, and just a great place to hang out, great place to grab something to eat, great place to meet your friends and family, or just check out the local shops. There's plenty of parking here in Riviera Village, and we even have a Trader Joe's. How cool is that? So while the Trader Joe's has the obligatory small Trader Joe parking lot, there's plenty of other public parking around here for those not lucky enough to live close enough to be able to carry their groceries home. Okay, let's jump over to the map now because I want to show you some of the places we've been and some of the places we're going to, and so you get a sense of where we are in the bigger scheme of things. Looking at the map of South Redondo Beach, which extends from about 190th Street, which is called Anita in Redondo, all the ways down to the foot of the Palos Verdes Peninsula. The entirety of Redondo Beach goes much further north, as you can see here. And when you go further north, Redondo Beach is east of East Manhattan Beach, and it's east of Hermosa Beach. But when you come down here, South Redondo Beach does have its beachfront. One of the things you need to consider in South Redondo Beach, if you're thinking of buying or renting a home, is whether you're east of or west of PCH, US 1. You see that down here. And the closer you are to the beach, the more expensive those properties become to buy or rent. Interesting thing, we've driven around the Hollywood Riviera a lot, which is down here. And you're going to say, hey, wait a second, that's on the other side of the red line. And you're correct. And that's because a lot of the Hollywood Riviera, all of it actually in this map, is part of Torrance. So how could that be? You have homes in this area with Redondo Beach addresses. Some of them do have Torrance addresses, but they're Redondo Beach 90277, and they're part of Torrance. And you see even some of the beachfront is Torrance Beach, not Redondo Beach. What you see up here is Redondo Beach. And you get down here and it says Torrance Beach, or as we call it, Rat Beach, right after Torrance. So what's that about? About 100 years ago or longer, the post office for the homes here in the Riviera was closer in Redondo Beach than it is in Torrance. So they just gave them Redondo Beach addresses. I guess that's kind of cool if it works for you. Let's zoom in a little bit and look at some more of these neighborhoods we've been talking about. You see down here the avenues. We've been driving around the avenues. And the avenues, if they're east of PCH between Pacific Coast Highway and Prospect, those homes might be a little bit less expensive than if they're west and closer to the beach. But when you get down here along Esplanade and Catalina, you do have a lot of multi-unit and condos where you have more of the single-family houses over here. Here was Riviera Village. We drove around Riviera Village. The multiple listing service that the realtors use, and we often refer to these neighborhoods and areas, anything west of PCH is just considered one area in Redondo Beach. And then you get the next delineation becomes whether it's north or south of Torrance Boulevard. We haven't driven around this area yet, but keep watching the video and we will. And then the next differentiation becomes again Hollywood Riviera. So you have 4 areas in the multiple listing service. You have the Riviera, you have west of PCH, and you have north or south of Torrance Boulevard. When we talk about the avenues, it's not just the streets that are named Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C, but it's also the streets that run through them. So if you have Hilberta or Gertrude running through there, or Juanita, they would be considered part of the avenues if they're crossed by one of the avenues. All right, so that was a little bit about the map. I hope that was helpful. Let's get back to the video. And just remember, if you're enjoying this, subscribe and like it, and feel free to contact me for any Redondo Beach real estate questions. This is Catalina Ave headed north. Again, all different kind of property types. We're in South Redondo right now, if you didn't know. And you'll see this a lot. This is like a classic Redondo Beach scene. There's condos, there's apartment building rentals, there's townhomes, there's single family homes. And you're about like a block from the Esplanade. So very walkable to the beach if that's your thing. And depending on how far south you are on Catalina, walkable to Riviera Village as well. The Village in South Redondo, not to be confused with Brookside Village, also in South Redondo, is a sprawling complex of mostly condos. I mean, they're all technically condos, but there are some townhouse style. They range everything from studios, 1-bedrooms, there's some 2-bedrooms, and on the other side, we're on Catalina now, but on the other side it is facing the ocean. Many of the units do have ocean views, and a lot of people buy these to start off with, and then they turn them into income properties when they buy their next property in Redondo Beach. And there's a lot going on here, a lot to know about the Village in South Redondo Beach, and it abuts right up to where the pier is. And so at some point this whole area is going to change, hopefully for the better. There's 3 large condo communities in South Redondo. We just drove by the Village. This one is Brookside Village. So kind of got out and walking around a bit so you can see what it looks like, because passing by from the street, it's just looks like a bunch of old apartment buildings. And actually it was apartment buildings, which at one point were converted to condos. So this is located at the corner of Prospect and Camino Real in South Redondo Beach. There's a bunch of amenities in this community, including a couple of pools and spas and workout facility and tennis courts. A lot of buyers will initially live in these units for a number of years and then move on, but maybe keep them and turn them into rental units. So it's a good entry point for either buying or renting in South Redondo. And I don't know, I think they need some pickleball courts where those tennis courts are. Hopefully you're enjoying this video, and if you are, hit that subscribe button and you'll see a lot of my other videos coming up. I'm posting all the time. And if you have any questions about Redondo Beach real estate, feel free to contact me. This is a very large townhome complex in South Redondo called Village Palos Verdes. and there's both 2 and 3 bedroom townhomes here. Many have ocean views, some quite spectacular. We're going to drive around it. A lot of the units here have been updated. The whole exterior of the complex was updated a number of years ago. And these are quite desirable. They do have a homeowners association and HOA dues. Okay, we're coming around here to the other side of the complex where these units do have absolutely stupendous ocean views. A little bit noisier on Palos Verdes Boulevard, but the bedrooms are usually set a little bit further away from the street. Great complex. So to recap, there's 3 different large complexes in South Redondo: the Village, which is along Catalina Avenue, Brookside Village, and then Village Palos Verdes. Okay, now we're still in South Redondo Beach and we're on Paulina. This is north of Torrance Boulevard, and it is east of PCH. And you see there's a lot of single family houses on this street, but as we get further along in this neighborhood, you're going to see that there's more of the typical Redondo Beach mixed between single family and condos and townhomes. A lot of original houses and a lot of newer homes built in the coastal style everyone seems to like. As I mentioned, the zoning here is single family, and this is kind of unique. So even though we're east of PCH, still close enough for most people to walk down to the beach, and if not walk, a pretty easy bike ride or car ride to get there. A little bit too far maybe to walk to Riviera Village, but still a great place to live if you're interested in Redondo Beach real estate in South Redondo. So this is your more typical South Redondo scene where you have a bunch of townhomes of various ages and sizes, some attached, some detached. And we're still north of Torrance Boulevard and east of PCH in this neighborhood. Down in the description, I'm going to have some links if you want to look at homes in this neighborhood. You'll also find that there are some larger townhome complexes like this one we're coming up to here on the right. But mostly you're going to find 2 on lots and then 6 units and higher. Some of these houses here actually have ocean views, even though we're on the other side of PCH, the east side of it. And they're not protected ocean views, but they do have ocean views. Oh, that one that's open there, ocean view. Pretty cool. And it's just that we're higher here than we are right when you are on the other side of PCH. It's more level, but we're coming up from sea level. So you have some hills. Okay, looks like we're passing Redondo Union High School, which is quite the campus these days, and a lot of activities, a lot of things always going on here, and it is quite highly rated these days compared to years ago. So we're still in South Redondo Beach, north of Torrance Boulevard. And again, you see the mix of single-family houses, two-on-a-lot townhomes, just about anything you could think of we got going on here. There's nothing more dense right here than a two-on-a-lot, but there's also a lot of single-family. So we're still north of Torrance Boulevard and east of PCH in South Redondo. And as you can see, there's all kind of properties here. There's single-family residence. There's two-on-a-lot townhomes. There's multi-unit townhomes. We got it all going on. And just remember, as far as Redondo Beach, and actually all of California real estate goes, that townhomes are zoned as condos. A townhome is a style of property, not a legal description. You can see over the years how the different elevations changed. You'll see some more modern looking properties, some more Mediterranean, Spanish looking properties. And you either kind of like that or not, but you don't see a lot of what you would find, let's say, in a master planned community where everything looks the same and there's just a couple of different floor plans. Okay, we just turned on to Torrance Boulevard, and if we continued all the way on this, we just roll into the pier, but we're not going to do that because we're exploring some Redondo Beach real estate in South Redondo. And as you get south of Torrance Boulevard, but north of the avenues, the pricing changes a little bit, and it does get a little bit more expensive. But you're still going to see single families mixed in with townhomes, two-and-a-lot townhomes, and you're going to see, again, the typical stucco, Spanishy, Mediterranean-looking properties, and then we'll see some more coastal-looking, and we'll see some more contemporary, modern-looking. So let's keep driving around here in South Redondo Beach.
So as we're driving around, let's do a recap of all this. Redondo Beach is one of the 3 beach cities in the Los Angeles South Bay. The other 2 are Manhattan Beach and Hermosa Beach. Redondo Beach is by far the largest of the 3 beach cities, and it's best to look at Redondo Beach as North Redondo and South Redondo because they are quite different. North Redondo Beach is beach in name only. It's actually landlocked. And South Redondo Beach has a beachfront. And curiously, some of that beachfront is actually in the city of Torrance. Now, the reason that some of the Redondo Beach addresses are actually in the city of Torrance is because well over 100 years ago, that's where the post office was closer to Redondo Beach than Torrance. They said, we're just going to give them Redondo Beach addresses. Cool. There is not really any difference between the pricing if a property has a Redondo Beach address and it's in Torrance compared to if it has a Redondo Beach address and it's in Redondo Beach. In fact, some of the most expensive homes that are ever sold in Redondo Beach have actually been in Torrance with Redondo Beach addresses. One of the things that really surprises people when they first start looking to buy a home in Redondo Beach and curious what it's like living in Redondo Beach is just all the different property types we have. Particularly if you're coming from somewhere where it's more of like master planned communities or tract houses. There's a lot of single lot development and urban infill in Redondo Beach. So you could have a brand new, gorgeous single family house that's going to sell for about 3, 4 million or more next to an original beach shack that probably should have been knocked down decades ago. And some people that's off putting, for others it's not. So you're going to find here single family houses, basically a house on a lot. You're going to find townhomes of all sizes, shapes, and descriptions. And townhomes either are attached or detached, depending on if there's a common wall or not. The detached ones often will sell at a premium, but some of the attached ones that have ocean views might sell for more. And of course, age and location and other amenities come into play with that. And remember, if you're going to buy a townhome in Redondo Beach, that townhomes are zoned as condominiums. So if your lender asks you, well, is this loan for a single family house or a condo? Townhomes are technically uh, condominiums. Then we also have reverse floor plans. That's where the living area is upstairs, not downstairs. And that's to get a little bit more ocean breezes and some views. And I have another video where I go through actually some new construction and show you that. Again, some people like the reverse floor plan, some people don't like it. In addition to single family residences, houses in Redondo Beach, and townhomes, Redondo Beach Real Estate also has a number of just regular kind of flat condos, like what you would think of are more like apartments. And some of those are in buildings that were converted from being apartments, but now they're condos. There's three big condo communities, and they all kind of have a similar sounding name because the village is in it. So you have the village, which is along Catalina Avenue in the ocean. You have Brookside Village, which is further inland, and then you have Village Palos Verdes. Those are all very different communities from each other. So learning our local jargon is really important and knowing the difference between the neighborhoods. So I'm going to put in the description some links. They're not affiliate links. Doesn't cost you anything and I don't make anything. Well, I guess I would make something if you hired me to be your agent, but I don't make anything by you clicking on the link. And it'll let you look at the properties in the four different MLS areas in South Redondo and actually the 8 different MLS areas in North and South Redondo combined. Now you may say, hey, what do I need that for? I can go to like one of the national portal sites. Yes, you could, but they don't break it down like I do because I'm all about local